How should you approach learning to drive? How should you approach taking driving lessons from day one? What kind of approach should you take for you to become a driver, for you to prepare yourself, for you to pass the test and become a driver, become a safe driver on the road? What kind of approach should you be taking? Remember, when you're learning something new, you don't expect to learn without a plan, without a good approach. You need a good approach when you're learning something new. You need to have a plan. You need to have a plan. Without a plan, without knowing what kind of plan you are taking, what kind of approach you should be taking, this learning is going to be difficult for you. And not only difficult, you might give up because you think you're not learning. You think this is not for you. So you need to approach from day one in a way exactly knowing how to approach, what it takes for you to become a driver, what it takes for you to learn to become a driver and for you to pass. You need to do that from day one. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how to approach, how you should approach this learning to drive, how you should approach taking driving lessons, how you should approach to prepare for you to pass and become a safe driver on the road. Let's start the lesson. So like I said, you need a good approach for you to learn to become a driver, for you to pass the driving test. Number one, always be ready for the driving lessons. So when you're having driving lessons with a driving instructor or with a family member or friends, don't just wake up and go to the lesson without being prepared, without being ready for the lesson. You should be ready for the lesson. So if your lesson is at 10 o'clock, you should prepare yourself at 9:30. Wake up, get ready. Make sure mentally you are ready for the lesson. Make sure you put the right clothes on. Every occasion has a clothes. When you go to the lesson, you need to feel comfortable, right? You need to be flexible. You don't want to wear something you feel tight, you feel uncomfortable. So all those things are part of the approach, the way you learn to drive, okay? So be prepared, be ready for the lesson, and make sure you put the right clothes on, the right shoes on. Shoe makes a huge difference when you're learning in a manual car, because you're dealing with a clutch. You need to feel the clutch. Also, even if you're learning in an automatic, you need to feel how much gas you're giving, how much brake you are giving. So your shoes makes a difference. Okay, so be mentally ready, physically ready, knowing I've got a lesson today at 10, have the right clothes on, have the right shoe on, and be ready for the lesson. That's number one. Number two, don't have any plan on the day that will distract your lesson. Remember, it's costing you a lot of money, a lot of time and your energy for you to learn to drive, and you don't want to just take it lightly. This is really important for you, okay? I don't want you to just wake up and just go and just waste your time, waste your money, waste your energy. If you do that, you probably will learn eventually, but it's going to take longer unless you are ready. So make sure on the day you don't have anything, any other big plan which will distract you learning to drive. The lesson that you have on the day, it should be important for you. You should have that on your diary. That should be an important appointment for you on the day. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to go quickly because I got something else I need to do. Something else is important, but this is also important, okay? So whatever problem you have, or whatever plan you have, leave it outside the car. When you come into the car, that's the plan you have. This is where you give everything 100% without any distraction, without any other plan which is going to distract this lesson. Okay, so nothing will distract me learning today. 10 to 11, 10 to 12 is my lesson, and I'm going to give 100% everything I have without any distraction, without any distraction. Okay, so that's number two. Number three, listen to the briefing your instructor gives you. So when you go to the lesson, your instructor will teach you subject by subject, okay? Before you learn something new, they will give you a briefing. They will explain the lesson. They'll give you the information about the lesson. Make sure you listen and listen well. And if you don't understand, make sure you ask questions. Remember, the information that you take in, that is what you're going to need when you're driving. So for example, your instructor is teaching you today roundabouts. So they give you a briefing, they explain to you, give you the information about roundabouts. Unless you get that, Unless you fully understand the information about roundabouts, when you go and do the roundabouts, it's going to be difficult for you to understand what you're actually doing. You are just doing because your instructor is telling you to do. You should be doing it because you understand what you are doing. So the instructor said, which lane do you need to go to an exit? First exit, second exit, third exit. Which lane do you need? When to signal? How do you come off? So they're going to explain all that. Make sure you take it in as much as you can, and make sure you listen and listen well. If you don't understand, ask questions. This is your time, it's your money, it's your energy. You want to take in as much as you can, and you want to learn it well, by knowing, by understanding what you are doing. Okay, so listen to your instructor when they are explaining to you, when they are giving you a briefing, especially when they're teaching something new. Hi, if you are learning to drive or you are training to become a driving instructor, we have an online course for you. So if you're a learner, we have an online course for you for manual and automatic. And if you're training to become a driving instructor, we have an online course for you for your ADI Part 2 and ADI Part 3. Please check the description for the links of the courses. Have a look and have a read. If you like it, you could always join the course. Next, have a notebook from day one. Make sure you have a notebook where you make notes of lessons, okay? You don't have to take notes in the lesson. You can just briefly the main bullet points, especially at the end of the lesson when you go home. Everything you've learned, make sure you write it down. Write all the main things, all the bullet points, what you've learned today. This way, not only is going to help you to remember things, when you write things, it gets to your head. It sticks in your brain. When you're writing with your hand, not only is going to help you to remember, it's going to help you to stay in your mind. It's going to stick into your mind, so you'll remember forever. So whatever you learn, you've learned roundabout today, you've learned junctions, you've learned a parking. When you go home, write it down exactly. Make a notes, make a page about what you've learned. So as you are writing, you will get to know what is missing. You will get to know there's something that you don't remember. Keep that blank, ask your instructor on your next lesson, and fill the gap. That way, like I said, not only you will remember, it will stick to your mind forever. So make sure you have a notebook from day one. So notebook is very important for you to have. Next is be patient on your learning, okay? This learning is not going to be easy. You're going to have your bad days. It's not going to be a cup of tea every day, okay? So you're going to have your bad days, so you need to be patient. Make sure you are patient on your learning. When you're learning something new, you're always going to make mistakes. It's always going to be difficult on some things that you learn. That's when the patience is to come in. Unless you're patient, it's going to be difficult for you, and you might give up, and you don't want to do that, okay? Giving up is not an option. Be patient and learn. And if there's something difficult for you, work on that more, do more homework, ask more questions, watch videos, read about that more, because that is difficult for you, and learn. But never give up, and be patient. Patient is the key when you're learning something new. More difficult it is, more patient you are. More you will study, more you will watch videos on that, more you will get to know on that, so that you become more familiar, you become more knowledgeable on that thing that you find difficult on. Okay? So be patient is one of the key when you're learning something new, especially when you're learning to drive and for you to pass your driving test. Okay? Next, try to be independent on everything you learn. So whatever you are learning, your main goal, your main aim is for you to become independent on that. That is your key. That is the main fundamental of that, of your learning to drive. Okay. So when you're learning, say, roundabouts, parallel parking, bay parking, your instructor explained to you, and then you go and do it. Your aim is to remember the steps, remember how to do it, and become independent without asking any questions, without them helping you. That is your goal. That is what you are trying to achieve. So from day one, approach in a way so that when you are learning, your aim is to become independent on that. Even though that is the main goal, unless you have that in your head, you're not going to be independent quickly. Unless you think about it to become independent. Your main goal should be independent in your mind. Unless you think about that, unless you plan that in your mind, you're not going to be independent quickly. It's all about how you're thinking in your mind, how you're prepared in your mind. If you don't, you're going to become independent by doing it many times. But because you don't have that plan in your mind, it's going to take longer for you to become independent on everything. Okay? So whatever you learn, always approach in a way so that you plan, you have that in your head that I'm trying to be independent on that. That is the main goal, isn't it? Your main goal isn't for you to go and pass the test. Your main goal is for you to become an independent driver, a safe driver. When you become independent, when you become a safe driver, you will pass. It's just something, a byproduct. Along the way, you just go and you will pass. Passing is just something you need to do. You need to show someone that you know how to drive the car. Your main goal, your main aim is for you to become independent in driving, become a safe driver. And the way you do that, if you have that in your head, if you have that in your plan, if you approach from day one, everything I learn, I need to be independent, you will be independent quickly rather than taking it too long for you to be independent. If you think, if you have it in your head, you will do it quicker. You will become independent in quicker. Next, gain knowledge as much as you can in driving. Okay, try to gain knowledge as much as you can. Watch videos, read about it in Google. Everything you need to learn, try to gain knowledge on that. So the safety checks, the trouble SM, the control lesson, the controls about your car, how to move off, how to stop, how to change gear, how to deal with junctions, how to go left, how to go right, MSPSL routine, roundabouts, mini roundabouts, crossroads, parallel parking, bay parking, stop somewhere safe on the right, reverse, move off. All those things, read about them one by one. And like I said, on your notebook, write about them. So write the heading, roundabouts, and write everything about roundabouts. All the main bullet points. What is roundabouts? How to do roundabouts? What is the rule of the roundabouts? How do I approach roundabouts? Crossroads. What is crossroads? Who has priorities in crossroads? Parallel parking. How do I do parallel parking? What are the steps of parallel parking? Bay parking. So try to read about them, watch videos about them, become a specialist on those subjects. The more knowledge you gain, remember, the knowledge is power. The more knowledge you gain, more it's going to be easier for you to learn to drive and for you to pass your driving test. This learning is very difficult for many because they don't do their homework. They just expect the instructor to give them everything. Remember, the instructor is going to come in for an hour or two, and they're going to give you everything you need in that 1 hour. But what do you do after that matters. Remember, it is your driving. It's not the driving instructor who needs to learn. They know how to drive the car. That is their business. They're going to come in and give you what you need, but it is you who's learning. No one's going to give it to you. No your driving instructor, no your family members, no your friends. No one's going to give it to you. You have to gain the knowledge and learn and pass. It is your responsibility to gain the knowledge as much as you can. Remember, you are not learning this just to pass. You are learning to become a driver for the rest of your remaining days. And this car, I always say, is a weapon. It kills people. This piece of metal with 4 wheels is dangerous on the road. You as a driver has responsibility. You need to understand what you need to do. You need to understand, have the full knowledge of the things of everything. How to go left, how to go right, roundabouts. The more knowledge you have, more quicker you're going to learn, more easily you're going to learn, and more safer, better driver you're going to be. Passing, it's going to be a piece of cake. Your aim should be to become a safe, good driver on the road. So gaining knowledge is one of the most important you should approach as you're learning to drive. Okay, that should be in your plan on your approach learning to drive. Next, which I always say, there's no different. I'm going to add it on here as well, because without it, nothing is possible. This approach learning to drive is not going to be possible unless you believe you can. It is you who must believe you can. Your instructor believes in you. Your family members believes in you. Your mom, your dad, your husband, they all believe in you, but you don't believe in yourself. Do you think you're going to learn? For you to learn quickly and effectively and become a safe driver and for you to pass, you need to believe you can. It's no point starting learning to drive unless you believe you can. If you believe maybe I can, maybe not, Well, you've started by knowing maybe you can't. Why are you wasting your money, wasting your time, wasting your energy in this? Why? If you think you might, then forget starting. Just get a bike. Just walk. Go with a bus. Go train. Why? Why car? Because you believe, because you don't even believe you can. You must believe that you can. Others are doing it. Millions are doing it. Why can't you? If driving is not your cup of tea, then you must believe that you can. Even though it's difficult, I'm going to get to the end. I'm going to achieve my goal. My goal is to pass. And the way you do that is to believe that you can. Don't approach this unless you believe. My advice to you is, if you think, oh, I might, or maybe I can, the might and maybe don't start. Unless the day you believe 100% that I could do this, don't start the lesson yet. I want you to start by knowing I could do this. Others doing it, others are doing it, why can't I? I must believe no one's going to give it to me. I'm going to put my hard work in. I'm going to be patient. Everything that I said earlier, I'm going to put all those things in. I'm going to put all those in my plan, and I believe that I can. All those things that I mentioned, none of them matters unless you believe you can. Only the others that I've just went through will matter if you believe that you can. If you believe you can't, then you're right. You're not going to be able to do it. And even if you do, you're just going to go round this circle forever. And then at the end, you will learn it's going to cost you more money, more time, more energy for what? Because you don't believe you can't. So believe you can, be patient, and never give up is the approach you should take when you're learning to drive and for you to pass your driving test. If you need extra help on learn to drive and to pass a driving test, don't forget to take the advantage of our online course, which gives everything a learner needs. The course will give you everything you need for you to learn and for you to pass your driving test. It has everything you need. I will leave a link in the description for you to have a look. Have a look and see and read. If you like it, you could always join the course. And I truly wish you all the best learning and passing the driving test. I hope the video helps. If it does, please do give a thumbs up. Please do make a comment what you think of the video. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so don't miss any of my future videos. Hope to see you again on the next video. Bye for now.